Good evening and welcome to our daily news program broadcast to you live in Canal, Algérie. Coming up next. The Army General Sayed Chief of Staff of the People's National Army, chairs over the official kick-off of the proceedings of a national forum on the national defense in the face of cognitive warfare. As part of the instructions of the head of state, a ministerial delegation inspects projects for the supply of drinking water in Tiaret province. The Minister of National Education gives the official kick-off of the middle school certificate exam and supervises its conduct in Annaba province. The situation in Gaza keeps deteriorating as the terrifying death toll increases by the day as a result of the continuous Zionist attacks and their blockade of all humanitarian aid. Welcome again. First off in our news, the Army General Chief of Staff of the People's National Army, Sayed chaired on Monday at the National Circle of the Army in Brimsus the official kickoff of the proceedings of a national forum on the national defense in the face of cognitive warfare. More details with Rani al-Bahri.
In addition to the Prime Minister, the forum was attended by a number of ministers, advisors to the President of the Republic and the Secretary General of the Presidency of the Republic, in addition to the commanders of the National Gendarmerie, the commander of the 1st Military Region, heads of departments, directors and heads of central departments at the Ministry of National Defense and the staff of the National People's Army, as well as high-ranking officials, professors and university students. The forum began with an opening speech delivered by the Army General, at the beginning of which he welcomed the guests and participants, highlighting the importance of the forum's topic, which comes in light of the complex geopolitical context that today's world knows, which is also characterized by transformation, the complexity of crisis, the formation of threats, and the intertwining of risks, which makes its future development very difficult, especially with the intensification of competition between current and rising powers. In complete disregard of the potentially serious repercussions on international and regional security, without caring about the negative repercussions, therefore the right of developing peoples to enjoy security, peace and decent life.
ودون الاكتراث بالانعكاسات السلبية لذلك على حق الشعوب النامية في التمتع بالأمن والسلم والعيش الكريم.
The Army General stressed the necessity of concerted efforts of all national actors in order to effectively confront hostile plans and when the various development stakes for our country, adding that this forum deals with study and analysis, one of the most dangerous forms of war on the consciousness of peoples and the stability of nations, and it also calls for highlighting and realizing the strategic danger of what it may be plotted against our country, using technologies associated with fifth-generation warfare. Similar to the malicious practices adopted recently by parties that are hostile to Algeria due to its steadfastness in its positions, its sovereign decision, and its support for just causes in the world. He stated that in order to win the various development stakes that our country has undertaken under the leadership of the President of the Republic, the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces and the Minister of National Defense, the efforts of all national actors from state institutions, civil society, elites and citizens of all categories must be combined in order to enhance the systematic stability of the state and to respond effectively and efficiently to various potential hostilities.
من أجل تعزيز الاستقرار النسقي للدولة والتصدي بكل فعالية ونجاعة.
Subsequently, the Army General, Chief of Staff of the National People's Army, announced the official opening of the forum's activities. He then began presenting programmed lectures through which the participating professors and experts discussed the concept of war of minds and its forms, in addition to the risks and threats resulting from it, as well as the requirements and ways to confront it according to a studied practical approach. especially in light of an international environment characterized by the dissolution of the boundaries separating the two states of peace, war, and the exacerbation of cross-border asymmetric threats. The interventions also included discussions and interventions by specialists and executives who presented ideas that contributed to enriching the forum's activities and recommendations.
Following the instructions of the President of the Republic during the last Council of Ministers, he ordered the implementation of an exceptional emergency program to find a solution to the drinking water supply problems in Tiaret province. The Minister of Interior and the Minister of Hydraulics visited the province and inspected the projects and the installations needed to find a lasting solution to the problem. Yasin Hamdi reports.
To resolve the drinking water supply problems of Tiaret's population, a specific emergency program will be implemented within 48 hours, and all the works must be achieved in the next 20 days.
During the Council of Ministers, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, insisted on the importance of responding to the needs of the citizens. The President of the Republic put the Minister of Hydraulics and myself at the head of an important delegation to support the local authorities in their work. 15 tankers arrived from Algiers and 11 from Ghanem and from other bordering provinces. We're expecting more than 100 tankers. The priority is to supply the city of Tiaret and the neighborhoods facing the same problem.
علينا نحن الآن أن نعرف كيف إذا نوصل هذا المورد الأساسي.
This visit took place a day after the Council of Ministers, during which the President of the Republic instructed and insisted on the urgency of their achievement. During this visit, the two ministers have inspected the well drilling projects in the municipality of Ain Zarit and listened to a presentation of the groundwater transfer project in the region of Jermaya.
ما دام فيه إن شاء الله قرارات سأعلن عليها بعد قليل مع المسؤولين لأن السيد الرئيس.
The President of the Republic insisted a lot on this issue. He ordered the achievement of all the works before Eid al-Adha. We want to reassure the citizens that every house will be supplied with drinking water. We will also focus on the drilling projects to continuously support Tiaret. The President of the Republic decided to transfer water from Jeremiah to 120 kilometers in the south of the province, and it will be done on time.
الآبار العميقة ممكن ننميوها أكثر فأكثر.
The two ministers have also inspected the water transfer project from Shat al-Shargi over a 42-kilometer distance that will strengthen the supply capacity of the province to 10,000 cubic meters.
Following the instructions of the President of the Republic during yesterday's meeting of the Council of Ministers, which mandated an urgent and exceptional program to resolve the issue of drinking water supply fluctuations in Tiaret province, the Minister of Interior, Ibrahim Marad, accompanied by the Minister of Water Resources, Taha Derbal, visited today the Budaya Al Malha project in Ain Zirat municipality. They inspected the deep well drilling projects and received explanations about it, along with other measures to ensure a regular supply of drinking water to the residents of the province. Marad also confirmed that a project to bring water from Al-Jaramana in the Emir Abdelkader municipality will be recorded as well. The ministerial delegation also inspected the project to bring drinking water from Shat al-Shargi with a flow capacity of 10,000 cubic meters per day over a distance of 42 kilometers. The project is in its advanced stages and is expected to be operational before the end of the current month. Instructions to prepare a new management strategy for ports was included in the outputs of the Council of Ministers, and given its important role in the national economy, Algiers Port is working on improving its services to meet the needs of its customers. Report by Hanan Boraya, commentary by Najah Tayar.
Algiers port is one of the largest offshore installations on the Algerian coast. Lately, an active movement is witnessed at both the level of navigation and the overall movement of goods as a result of the high movement of products and containers from and to Algeria. And in the command tower, a professional team controls the vessel's movements.
Recently, a large number of different types of vessels comes to the port, and each vessel has a special dock according to its priority.
Time is an important factor. Several improvements took place in order to reduce the unloading shipment and the waiting period for the ship to meet the customer's expectations.
With the new system, customs facilitates all steps. Among the customs facilitations that have entered into force, we rely on digitalization in order to reduce the duration and give a material and economic boost to various economic customers. After receiving these sidewalks, the duration of the vessel's waiting will be greatly reduced and the storage capacity will be expanded.
And by developing a strategy for optimal use of space and time, this will eventually result in the port performance improvement to keep pace with Algeria's current economy development.
To cooperation now, and as part of his visit to Seoul, the Foreign Affairs and National Community Abroad Minister Ahmed Attaf was received today by the President of the Republic of South Korea, Yoon Suk-yeol, in a reception organized by the South Korean authorities. Ahmed Attaf conveyed to him the greetings of the head of state and his wishes for the success of the Africa-Korea summit due to be held tomorrow, Tuesday. Still with the activities of the head of the Algerian diplomacy, who held bilateral meetings with his African counterparts, namely the Nigerian Foreign Minister Yusuf Tugar, the Namibian Minister Pia Mushilenga, as well as with the official in charge of managing the Libyan Ministry of Foreign Affairs, El Bawr. The discussions focused on the state of bilateral relations binding Algeria with these brotherly countries and the perspectives to further upgrade them, as well as coordination regarding regional and continental developments, in addition to preparations for the upcoming deadlines within the framework of the African Union. In a different context, the middle school certificate exam began this Monday. The official kickoff was given this morning by the Minister of National Education at the Shahid Mohammed Tahar bin Shayniya High School in Al-Taraf province. Abdel Hakim bin Abed then went to Annaba, where he supervised the conduct of the exams, which involve over 800,000 candidates nationwide. Unfortunately, no incident was recorded during this first day of the middle school certificate exam. Arabic and physics were today's subjects. Let's inquire more about this national exam with Yasin Hamdi.
More than 6,800 pupils, including 163 candidates, were present in the 29 centers of Bashar province for the middle school certificate exam. All the measures were taken for the smooth running of this exam.
There are 29 exam centers in the province equipped with air conditioning, 7 foreign candidates and 8 with specific needs, and 2,482 supervisors. We ensured the transportation and the food to the candidates who live far from the centers.
Just like the previous years, the exam centers were open 1 hour before the beginning of the test, and the staff was present for a good orientation.
I'm not afraid. I hope I'll succeed in my exam. I came with my sister to support her so that she won't be afraid.
The parents were also stressed. They were present to support their children.
I am more stressed than my daughter, but I'm here to reassure her. I told her that it's an ordinary exam. The presence of one of the parents is needed to support their children.
Good luck to all the candidates.
The middle school certificate exam at the International Algerian School in Paris also kicked off. The 18 registered pupils took their exams at the same time as their peers in Algeria, in a calm atmosphere. And to this new development, Palestine filed a request with the International Court of Justice to join South Africa's proceedings against the Zionist entity accused of committing genocide in Gaza. According to the court documents published on Monday, on May 31st, the State of Palestine filed a request to be authorized to join the proceedings initiated by South Africa, stated the UN's highest court in a communique last Saturday. And despite the international calls for the ceasefire in Gaza, the situation is far from improving, as a horrifying number of Palestinians are dying every day due to the continuous Zionist attacks and their blockade of all humanitarian aid from entering the enclave. The insights with Najah Tayar.
In the past 24 hours, the Gaza Strip was the scene of 4 massacres perpetrated by the Zionist occupation army, resulting in dozens of martyrs and more than 150 wounded, raising the total toll of the Zionist genocidal aggression on Gaza Strip to more than 36,400 martyrs and more than 82,700 wounded. Early this morning, strikes and artillery shelling targeted Rafah, mainly the Tel Sultan area in the west of the city. During the night, airstrikes and artillery fire killed at least 20 people, including 6 in the Burait camp in the center of the enclave, 10 in the Ahmadiyya area of Khan Yunis in the south, and 4 in the Zaytun neighborhood. After 20 days of the ground assault and the withdrawal of the occupying army, 70 bodies were found in Jabalia, bringing the total number of bodies found in the town to 120. At least 7,000 people are missing, presumed dead under the rubble of their homes across the strip. The town of Jabalia and Beit Hanun are now declared disaster areas due to the massive destruction caused by the Zionist aggression that took place there yesterday. No less than 50,000 houses have been destroyed. The humanitarian situation remains catastrophic given that the Rafah crossing with Egypt, which is crucial for the delivery of international aid, was closed on May 7th. The day the Zionist army took control of the Palestinian side, at least 32 people, many of them children, have died of malnutrition since the beginning of the war in Gaza, and more than 305,000 Palestinian children suffering from acute malnutrition are at risk of dying. International organizations such as Doctors Without Borders, Oxfam and Save the Children have expressed their concern about the acceleration of deaths from hunger, disease and denial of medical care.
And with that, our today's news edition comes to a close. Thank you for tuning in and goodbye for now.